Hello Pisces, Elsie here to do a reading for you. It's a weekly reading. How are you, my two fishes friends? I hope you're good. Thanks so much for clicking here, my water family. I'm doing something a little bit different this week. We are doing career, finances, and love. So we're going to take a look at all three. I've come back to doing a three-hand read, and I kind of liked it, and I forgot I kind of liked it because a lot of people put demands on me, right, of the kinds of reads they want to see, and so now I'm doing what I want. And let's find out what is going on for you in these reads. Let's figure out what's going on for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you all about how to find a private read and how to find the extended if you're interested in that. So thanks for coming by, Pisces. If you always do that, if you're my ride or die, thanks for that. And if you're brand new, I hope you will stay. Look, I'm all up in your business coming through your feed anyway. You might as well hit subscribe if you're watching, if you've gotten this far. Let's find out what's going on for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We're starting with career, Pisces. Let's find out what's going on with your career. Ooh, that's a good place to start. Look, the Ace of Pentacles is here. You know what? I think the worst is behind you. I'm going to say the worst is behind you. Something has changed, and you are feeling far more busy and industrious than you ever have. And I think it's going to equate to some sort of really big investment in yourself or a new beginning here. We've got the King of Cups. And we've got the Ace of Cups. So look, I feel like this is going to be a good year for career for you. It feels like the worst is in the past. And I'm just saying that because you can see that the fox is looking into the past. And it does feel like something has changed or it's about to transform. So I'm going to say if you're already in a job that maybe you don't hate, it feels like something's about to change in the workplace. It's like the Ace of Pentacles shows up when there's going to be an investment or maybe possibly something changing. I'm just looking at, there is an owl there. We also see a squirrel. So squirrels are very industrious, very busy. And I feel like it's something you've done for yourself, right? Squirrels don't usually get fed. I mean, some people feed squirrels, but not usually. Because they're considered a rodent, right? So they're usually industrious and looking and stacking whatever it is that they need for, for each season. So I feel like this is the season for you where you're going to be investing in something that you love to do in terms of your career. So if that means you got to change careers, I don't know. That might be up to you. But it feels like something here is going to be something that you love. The investment is going to work out to something that is, the Ace of Cups is always overflowing, right? That's why there's water all around the cup. We've got fish here as well, which tells me money, possibly money and water, fish and water are money. And so it feels like more money or the beginning of something you really, really love. I'm going to say with the King of Cups here, keep it under wraps. I don't think that you're supposed to be broadcasting whatever the plan is. I think you're supposed to keep it under the surface because that's what the King of Cups would do. Tell me more about career. We've got the Six of Wands. We've got the Two of Pentacles. Something you've been fighting for is coming into balance. When I look at this particular Six of Wands, the Six of Wands is about victory. It's about finding your victory or your success in whatever you're doing. So I feel like this Ace of Pentacles up against the Six of Wands is like great energy. And it does feel like it comes after a cycle that was really hard for you. Maybe you felt like you were working harder than everyone else, the squirrel, but you weren't getting to where you wanted to be. This Colosseum is the place where, they used to have people fight to the death just for pure entertainment. And it almost feels like maybe you were working at a place where, the management, the upper management was having you all fight amongst yourselves to, step on the other one's head just to get higher on the ladder. It feels almost like the Hunger Games, right? It feels like that you were put in a position where you had to fight for something. I feel like you're coming out on this side of success and victory in something that you love. So whether that means you got to move, like to go to school from career or whatever it is, you're adding something you love to your career. So we do have the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles is about making a decision, but it's also balance, right? We're very balanced, right? And even though it's only two pentacles, it still is pentacle energy. So it's decisions. It feels like you're going to be making decisions about your career because it's time for you to fight for what you want, for what is going to make you happy. But I think you're supposed to keep it all under the surface, friend. We do have the Devil here. It feels like you've been stuck in something, spinning your wheels, going round, round, and round. And I think that the reason that you've been stuck there is because you've been fearful. So you feel like there's doubt or maybe there's fear that it's not going to work out. It feels like you've been attached to something. And, the devil can play with your mind in that it can make you feel like you're stuck or that you're chained to something. And that's why a lot of people stay in the same job forever and ever. And even if they're not being treated well, or they're not being paid well, or there's no promotions, or they've hit the glass ceiling, they'll stay because they feel stuck there. And it's this environment that you get stuck in, this competitive, fighting sort of environment, right? So I feel like this devil energy here is saying to you that I think it's an illusion. It feels like it's fear. You can fight against the fear to get your balance. It feels like doubt. It feels like the hamster wheel, that something's been going on obsessively. Let's talk about the King of Cups, because it feels like there is something that ultimately I think that you're going to love, whether it's in the place that you're at or a new place. Tell me about this King of Cups. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. Whatever this is going to give you a lot more stability than you're dealing with right now. But first you've got to make the investment. So you got to make the move, or you got to get the course, or it's something that you've got to do in the Pentacle world in order to bring more abundance, happiness, health into your life, more money for sure. We've got the Four of Cups. Well, there's the caveat, right? You got to go outside your comfort zone. Nothing grows in the comfort zone. It's comfortable there. Absolutely it is. But nothing grows inside the comfort zone. You're going to have to go outside the comfort zone and rock your emotions just a little bit in order to get what it is that you want. Nine of Pentacles. And what you want is stability. You want to be seen as someone who's confident, someone who has a good reputation, someone who's built themselves from nothing. It feels like you want to stick out amongst the crowd, right? If somebody walked into the room looking like this and it was just a average Tuesday afternoon at the coffee shop, it would be a little wild, right? I think that you want to stick out amongst your peers, though. You do, but the way that you don't do it is by allowing your employer to get you in battle, in this battle for success, battle for victory. So I feel like there's somebody here who is possibly going to have to change the things that you're doing, whether that's inside the job that you're in or whether that's finding something new outside of the place where you're working. But this Knight of Cups is telling me that it's just taking longer than you wanted it to, because the Knight of Cups is the passive knight. Passive knight is dreamy and thinking about things and fantasizing about what it could be. And it feels like that's what's getting in the way. This is Piscean energy, right? Feels like that's getting in the way, that you're thinking about it or you're living about it. You're living through it in the mind, and it's a fantasy or a hopeful thing. And as you're wandering about in your Piscean energy. So it's time to bring it into the 3D, friend. And it's time to actually take some action on whatever it is that you want. Whatever it is that you want next in terms of your career is going to depend on how much energy, time, or effort you put into that. All right. Let's look here, and we'll talk about finances. Tell me about finances for Pisces. And the rising Venus and Jupiter, tell me about finances for Pisces. Tell me about Pisces and their finances. Again, Six of Wands is back. We were just talking about the Six of Wands. So I feel like your finances depend on you getting attention. Like I could be talking to someone who is like, you know what, I just don't want to do what I'm doing anymore. I need to get more attention. Maybe you want to get more attention because you want to start a business. Maybe you want to get more attention because you want to go on platform somewhere. It feels like somebody here needs to, in order to get more money, you need to get more attention. So maybe you need to build a website for your business or something like that. It feels as though you will have victory. You will have success after a hard time, but it feels like it is something you need to take action on. Leo energy, and it's about having the spotlight and sticking out amongst the rest, because that person is on the horse and everyone else is on the ground. So of course that person is going to be the one that's going to get all of the attention. The Five of Cups is here. It feels like you're leaving a hardship or leaving a hard place. You can see that depiction here. Somebody's looking at all the places that they've come from. Like it looks like I'm looking back there at the hardship, and I've gone, like I've come to here from there. Somebody's looking back at something that has ended, that is to me feeling like it's a full moon in the distance that has ended. So something's been released. Maybe you're releasing some sort of sadness or some sort of regret. It feels like you want to make this change here in your financial situation. It feels like maybe you've made some regrettable decisions. I think that that's behind you. I think that you're looking at where you've come from and that it's time for you to get more attention, more success, and more victory in your financial situation. The Seven of Swords is here, and it's telling me that there is concealment, or maybe you should keep something under wraps. It feels like you should maybe not tell anybody what your plan is. It feels like you are looking at maybe finding more money, raising your finances by getting some sort of attention. It feels like you've released some sort of regret, and I feel like whatever your plan is, you're supposed to keep it under the surface here, friend. It feels like you're supposed to keep it silent or quiet. We've got the Nine of Swords. We've got the Ten of Cups. Look at that. And we've got the King of Swords. Well, I kind of like that because the King of Swords always gets what they want because they're truthful and honest and they always have a plan. You're never going to find an Aquarius who doesn't have an eye for detail. Eagle eye, right? This is somebody who goes over everything. This is the person you want to be your lawyer. This is the person you want to be your accountant. I always brag that I always brag to the other signs. Maybe I haven't bragged to you yet that I have a bookkeeper that's an Aquarius. They don't miss a thing. Like they're eagle eyes, right? So I feel like there is something here that you need to let go of, my friend. We've got 10 swords here, and it feels to me like you are stepping away from some sort of regret and you're releasing that. It feels like you're releasing some sort of sadness or some sort of regret regarding your finances. This could be bad financial decisions. It could be that. None of us are free of that, right? Making these poor financial decisions, whether it's ordering pizza on a Friday because you think you deserve it, even though you only have a little bit of money in the bank, whatever it is, right? So it feels like I feel like what you don't see or what's being concealed here is the Ten of Cups. I feel like you're about to make some really important decisions, and understand that the King of Swords has a lot of discipline, is very factual, is looking at all the numbers and being very honest and truthful about where I'm at financially. If I want to be happy, what I'm going to do is conceal the plan that I'm making, and I'm not going to ever go to that place of regret again. What I need to do is get more attention and stop worrying about how the money's going to come in. I need a plan. I need a plan to move forward here. And Justice is at the bottom of the deck. And so I feel like something is going to be restored for you, like your financial situation will be restored. We'll find some harmony, but I feel like it's going to take delicate balance. The person who is on the Justice card always has a blindfold on because they're feeling the balance. They're not looking at all the details. They're feeling the balance. How do you feel at this time? Tell me why the Five of Cups is here. I want to see what your regret is. Your regret is imbalance. Your regret is not having balance, not having discipline, and just not listening for the moment of alchemy. So I feel like you are leaving this behind. I feel like when Temperance is in the reverse, the answer is no. And I feel like it was supposed to be a no, but maybe you went into debt for something that now you regret. It's like a buyer's remorse is what it feels like. Now I'm sort of in debt with something I didn't want to be in debt with. We've got the Lovers here, making different choices. I feel like you're leaving these regrets behind and you are making different choices. We've got the Four of Cups. I feel like you were in a comfort zone and you wanted to be comfortable, and whatever it is you consider to be your creature comfort, whatever it was. Maybe you thought you deserved the new car or the new condo in the sky or whatever it was. It feels like whatever it was may not have been the best choice, that maybe it was an instant gratification choice at the time, and now you're looking at it really truthfully with the eye of an accountant or a judge or a magistrate or somebody who's like making you really look at the harsh truth about something. And so I feel like you're about to let it go. Look, I feel like what you don't see, what's being concealed from you here, is that happiness is here, joy will be here. Once you make these tough decisions to do whatever it is that you need to do, maybe you need to enlist a professional. I always say when the King of Swords is here, that's the person that you want on the case, whether they're an accountant, whether they're a bookkeeper, and there's somebody it has to do with your finances. Maybe they're a bank manager or maybe they're a money manager. But it feels like this is somebody here who can probably help you. Maybe you need to enlist somebody. But I feel like what's being concealed from you is happiness, is joy, is emotional happiness, instead of being in this place of emotional regret. We've got the bottom of the deck, which is the Eight of Pentacles. It might be getting another job. It might be adding a skill, right? This is the subject matter expert, the Eight of Pentacles. It might be adding a skill. It might be just looking over the analytics and just finding the situation as it is and then working from that situation. Sometimes we'll tend to ignore it, right? So we don't have to deal with the situation later on because we're pushing it in the background. We don't want to deal with it right now. All right. Let's talk about love. Tell me, it's 15:15 on the timer, by the way. Just as I said that, let's talk about love for Pisces. Pisces, we're going to go into the extended with this love reading because love readings always take a little bit longer. You always want more detail on those. So let's find out what's going on for Pisces. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter in love. Tell me about Pisces in love, please. Oh, what's going on here? We've got the Seven of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Very interesting. So we have the Sun and the Devil. I guess you know what's going on here. I think you're starting to realize what it is that you're doing wrong in love. It feels like you're very attracted to the thirst trap or the person who is physically appealing to the eye. And I feel like once you get into it, once you decide, yeah, okay, I'll get into it, it just doesn't work out. I feel like you realize that this person is somebody who might be a little bit toxic, or that maybe, it's the sun is the breakthrough energy here, that you see something under the sun now. It becomes abundantly clear and you have this breakthrough that possibly you've been chasing the wrong thing. And so the devil energy is obsessive. Right? So it's like either you're meeting people who get obsessed with you, love bombers, right? And then you think that that's love, and that's not what it turns out to be. But it feels like once you get a little bit further into it, once you go on the first date or the second date, Page of Pentacles is here. Once it starts materializing, you're like, wait a second, this is not what I want. And then you end up putting your dukes up, right? You end up putting up your dukes. So I think what you really want is commitment. Like, I feel like you're looking for something solid and strong, something I can build on, a traditional relationship possibly. It feels like you're looking for someone who will commit to you. But I think that at this time, I think that you've come to a realization or a breakthrough that maybe I was looking for the wrong thing. A lot of people are looking at the outside first and don't care what's on the inside until they get too far in, and then they realize that the inside is a hot mess, but they had a really good hairdresser or they had a really good person dressing them. It feels like somebody is looking at the outside first and not paying attention to the outside. The outside is important. It's not that it's not important, but it's not the first thing you should be looking at. I'm just saying. Or at least it should be at the top, in the top two, right? Should be looking at what's on the inside. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. We've got the Knight of Cups. And we've got the Judgment card. Okay, so it feels like a turn of events, my friend. I feel like you have learned a lesson because now that you see it in full view. Feels like you see it in Technicolor. The Queen of Pentacles shows up and says, but now I know my worth. Whether you're feminine or masculine, man or a woman, I feel like now I know my worth. Now I'm taking care of myself. The Queen of Pentacles isn't only taking care of finances. Pentacles are not always only about money. It's about time, effort, energy, and how you take care of yourself. When you're becoming in the pre-empress energy, whether you're the man or the woman, the pre-empress energy is about planting your own garden and eating from the garden. So you're taking care of your health. You're not eating out of boxes and bags of barcodes. It's all about taking care of your money, getting your house in order, literally cleaning the house and getting it in order, or maybe it's redoing a room. Maybe it's doing something that feels comfortable to you, making a place where you meditate, or making your living room the most spacious place in the room, or the most cuddled place in the room. I feel like you've decided this is what my worth is, and I'm no longer putting up with the devil energy. I'm not doing that stuff anymore. I'm not letting anybody get their meat hooks into me and be dependent on me, codependent on me, whilst I'm the one out here taking care of myself, doing the right things, really being disciplined with my money, my time, my effort, my energy. The Knight of Cups is here. I feel like you are going to meet someone new. That's what it feels like. There's somebody new that's showing up here, and the Judgment card is here. I think they're showing up new because I feel like you have been birthed into a situation now in the new year where you are making different decisions. Judgment is here. It's like, I'm resurrecting the old me. I'm remembering who I was, remembering my worth. And now it's changed the game. So I feel like there is a new romantic interest coming in. It's been taking a while because the Knight of Cups, although is, dreamy and the fantasy one, and, this is the grand displays of affection and stuff like that. I feel like it's that this energy is somebody who is new that you will meet here, but I feel like it's only because you have recognized your worth and you've stopped with this devil energy here. The devil energy brings strength, asking you to hold back from this energy. Look, the devil energy can also be like a sexual attraction, and that's not a bad thing. It's not. I'm not saying that it is, but I'm saying hold back with the pentacles. Hold back a little bit with the strength card. Make sure you get to know this person. So what if they're beautiful or handsome on the outside? If they're a jerk on the inside, that really doesn't make them very attractive on the outside. Your look, the way you look at them will be very different. We have the Seven of Wands asking you to put up your boundaries. Have boundaries and don't let everybody across. Meet some people at the property line, talk to them across the fence, exchange pleasantries, and leave them where they are. They might be hot. It might be great, but it's not going to do you any good. Yeah, take it slow. The Knight of Pentacles is here. Taking it really slow. Taking a few steps forward to this person and then reassessing the situation. And then taking a few steps forward and reassessing the situation. It's not a race. You don't have to run to the finish line to throw a ring on it. It's not a race. So I feel like somebody here is supposed to practice their boundaries and hold back just a little bit when you meet the thirst trap. Doesn't mean all thirst traps are bad. I'm telling you, it doesn't. But it means that I feel like you know your worth, and that you are going to be making different decisions as it pertains to this new love that's coming in. We're going to talk about that in the extended. Oh, look at that. The Wheel of Fortune just showed up. I like it. We're going to talk about this more in the extended. If you'd like to be in the extended, please look to the top of the comment section. There is one pinned comment there, and when you click on more, you will see it pop open. There are some links. So if you want to come to the membership, that's where all of the extendeds live. If you're interested in that, you will get 4 in a month if you decide to join there. I do put other specialty readings in there as well. There's some tarot course information there if you're interested in that. If you're interested in just purchasing this one outright, you can do that. There's a link in the pinned comment for that. And if you are interested in a private readings are open. They go from $25 and they go up from there. The $25 reading is a 48-hour turnaround time, 10 minutes or less, no backstory, just the question. I'll give you an answer, and Bob's your uncle. And if you're interested in that, please come by. So we're going to go to the extended. The Hypsee link, by the way, is the only place where you can book me, and that's in the pinned comment. We're going to go into the extension. If you'd like to be there, that's where we will be, all of us water types, and I'm going to go and be there with them. And if you want to be there, we'll see you there. And if not, that's okay, because I'll be back, because I'm always back. Thanks, Pisces. Bye-bye.